welcome everyone and good afternoon. In the next 20 minutes, we are going to talk about something many organizations are facing, which is moving AI from promising pilots to real operational impact. And to this, I'm pleased to have with me Meagen Eisenberg, CMO of Samsara, so global leader in fleet safety operation, and Yves Pétin, you are the CEO of Fraikin, the European leader in vehicle rental for mission-critical services. So Yves, let's start with you. What convinced you that it was the time to rethink the way Fraikin operates?
The inflection point came 4 years ago when I started as a CEO, and talking with our customers, I realized that their duty was to keep their fleet running day and night to ensure the uptime of critical hidden infrastructure in urban area. And that's where I got the light and I discovered that those vehicles were used as production units on wheel, and that changed completely the way you take decision. And that's where I realized that it was completely different than just renting those assets. And we had to move from just managing those vehicles to become really in a critical infrastructure platform to provide customers the full added value they were searching for.
Very interesting. Meagen, I'm turning to you. So we hear a lot about AI pilots. Why scaling AI is so difficult, and how do you help your customer to make that leap?
Yeah, so if you think about it with Fraikin, they have 11,000 customers, 52,000 fleets that they manage. So imagine going from a pilot of AI of 50 and rolling that out to 52,000. So it was really critical to align on what our goals were and how do we get to ROI very quickly. And so amazing enough, they're already seeing total cost of ownership reduction by 20%. 98% vehicle uptime, and then 10% operational yield. And I think that's only the beginning when you're applying AI to all of this. The other thing is a standardized architecture. If you think about it, they have all different types of vehicles, and as they grow through maybe autonomous or robotics or humanoid vehicles, so a mixed autonomy fleet, they need to be able to bring all that data into one platform. And then also they need to have a robust infrastructure that's an open platform. And so we have APIs that hook into their Nexa platform so they can really get the most out of the data, understand maintenance. Fuel is a big deal right now. So how do they understand their idle time, their fuel usage, all of that. And then, of course, the success matters on implementation and being able to implement very quickly. So less than 15 minutes per vehicle as you're bringing those in and taking them out of rotation, because of course any downtime costs money. Yes.
Impressive. Yves, let's talk about people, because technology is one thing, but getting people on board is another thing. So what did you learn from bringing thousands of drivers and clients through this change?
Very good question, by the way, Antoine. We learn a lot. First, what we learn, it's also about technology. So having, like Meagen said, 52,000 vehicles across 9 countries and 11,000 customers across 6 different mission-critical end sectors in urban areas, it's very difficult for us, and it was a challenge to capture the data from every vehicle, because without data, no feeding for AI and no feedback loop to our customers. So we searched for a partner, which we find, Samsara. We had already previously some partners that we kicked out because they were not innovative enough. And we searched for a partner that we found that had the same mindset as Fraikin. And once we had that technology on telematic, we launched a project across the company. And we started small. We convinced people. We made many mistakes. We also deliver tangible results to our customers, to our employees. And, in the end, IT and real data shouldn't be seen as, I would say, AI and real-time data shouldn't be seen as an IT project, but it's a transformation foundation of our model. So people really engage with that transformation.
Absolutely, this is crucial. in any organization, I guess. I'm turning back to you, Meagen. So you are working for thousands of organizations across the world. Once customer starts seeing their fleet data,
Yes.
what's the insight, safety, efficiency, other, what's the insight that surprised them the most?
Yeah, there's certainly some aha moments if you think about having visibility into drivers and vehicles and what we call harsh events, so accidents or avoiding accidents. And so those are definitely eye-opening. And what does that lead to? Well, when you're running this large of a fleet operation, you need to be able to coach drivers. And how do you figure that out if you have all of these different drivers where you focus? Because these the operators, you maybe have a dozen, but you can't scale without AI. So AI helps you scale infinitely. And so the coaching agent, one, will detect who needs coaching. Maybe they're newer drivers, or maybe they're more prone to accidents or having accidents, so you can focus on that. But now they have co-pilots. So if you think about it, you have a new driver, or every year or so you want to do a drive along or ride along. How do you do that at scale? Well, agents can actually now ride along with the drivers and coach in real time. And you really want to bring your coaching team and your drivers together, and so it allows them to focus where they need to focus, improve. Actually, most drivers are really, really quite good. So you can also celebrate the good drivers and have that access to that data.
Absolutely. Back to you, Yves. Let's talk about business impact. So you are the CEO of the company. So from your CEO perspective, how do you know that your safety program is working, and what has it changed for your customer? How do you measure that?
Again, a very good question. Safety in our business is a matter of trust. Our customer wants safe operation, they want efficient operation in urban areas, and they need a comprehensive set of data that we can provide to them. And it's the behavior of the asset, the vehicle, it's the behavior of the driver, it's the data we can collect as well from the environment, and the capability we have now to feedback them with all this data is very crucial. More specifically on safety, in the early days, already 1 or 2 years ago, with Samsara, we were partnering on about 1,500 cams in vehicles in the UK, because what you can see in Europe is that European legislation is different between the UK and the rest of continental Europe. And so we have advanced experience there with 1,500 vehicles and very positive feedback from our customers, the fleet operators, because they can feedback their driver and improve their behavior. So it's very tangible results. And based on that very positive experience, we decided to roll out this in the rest of Europe. In order to achieve that, we first had to go to get GDPR compliant in France, but also in other European countries. And there, Samsara supported us quite a lot. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
And on top of that, we rolled out and we set up a digital intelligent platform called Nexa to be able to pass to customers, our fleet operators, the data, including all the data from CAM that are embarked on each vehicle. So we, in France, we start about 1 month ago with 500 drivers that are equipped with CAM, and we are currently doing a POC with them.
Thank you. Let's now move to maintenance,
Yes.
and more specifically to predictive maintenance.
Yes.
So keeping in mind that fleets around the world are getting more and more complex, evolving in a mixed autonomy energy world. Meagen, where do you see AI making the biggest difference over the few next years?
Yeah, so it's a really big deal in maintenance. And to your point, it's not only predictive, but it's preventative. Because you imagine if you have a maintenance issue on the road, that quickly becomes a safety incident. And so the future of it, when you have drivers, they may detect error code on the engine. They may call the shop, let them know. Then you have to put the work order through and then bring the actual vehicle in. Now imagine it with autonomous vehicles or any mixed humanoid, robotics, et cetera, they may not detect that. So of course you have to collect that information through telematics, maybe visual through camera, and then act on that. Now with agents we can do that, and we can scale that across 52,000. And so what happens now, the telematics AI agent will detect the error code, will automatically create the work order, will automatically ship the part, so it'll get the part, it'll know when the part's going to arrive, so it'll change navigation and update your routing plan. So maybe it's the next day or 2 days later, you'll know that you need to take it to the workshop, they'll go ahead and fix it. And you take the human out of that, and think about that, you compress the timeline so much. And so it's not just marginally making it more efficient, it's dramatically changing the workflows and who needs to be involved. And I think it's really interesting if you think about it, traditional SaaS software doesn't really have an opinion. You're creating a dashboard, you create a workflow, it's hard-coded, and a human has to go check that, make a decision, and act. Well, with AI, it's more opinionated. So AI has opinions, it can take action, and so it can actually dramatically change workflow. It can save money, lowers the total cost of ownership, creates a better yield. And so we're dramatically transforming what we see in the real physical world. And you can do that whether it's with a driver, without a driver, with robots. And as you see all these robots on the floor, and how we're coordinating that, well, you need a central system that does that, where agents can look at all of that data. So if we have tons, trillions and trillions of data points that we're bringing together for the physical world, with agents, we could do that so much faster now.
Absolutely, huge evolution. Yves, with such a big fleet at Fraikin, I think we're speaking about 60,000 vehicles in Europe. Maintenance is not just keeping vehicle running, it is also about safety of the drivers, of the customer, but also the public in the public area. Do you have a concrete, real example where predictive maintenance helped improve safety and/or reduce risk?
I don't have one. I have thousands of them. First, preventive maintenance is a key disruptive element in our industry for two things. First, maintenance is our second cost line in our P&L, and is the first benefit for our customer is lower VOR, vehicle over road. Combining the two is essential for our industry. So a few months ago, we set up a Fraikin intelligent operation self-improvement layer, which scan every second the entire fleet of 60,000 vehicles across Europe and detect early signs of potential future failure. And we feed back those signals to 250 workshops spread across Europe. And by anticipation, we avoid major failures. And what we see actually, I was very afraid that within the supply chain or within the organization, our colleagues, our employees would not understand this change. And actually, they discovered the benefit of it because they're able to call the customer, the driver, ask to come to the branch. They have a quick repair instead of managing an emergency. And we are improving the VOR of the fleet operator. So it's a win-win-win-win-win as many times as you want. And actually, we have about 90% accuracy on the predictability of the information we get. And we are aiming to reduce our unscheduled M&R, that represent about 40% of our total M&R, by approximately 40%. So that's very encouraging and very disruptive. And we are the first one to do it.
That's amazing.
Very interesting example indeed, yeah. Meagen, one question for you regarding Samsara, who announced recently several new AI products, Agent Studio, Tracking Label, I think. Which one for you is the most exciting and why?
Well, I have a little show and tell, so I'm going to have to talk about tracking labels. But the agent codes are pretty cool because we put in the hands of our operators. They can build their own agents on their own data with their fleets. So I think there's a lot of goodness there. But I want to talk a little bit about tracking labels. When I think about all the robots that are out there, all the mixed autonomy things, 2 years ago, we launched something called the Asset Tag. This has a 6-year battery. And you can put it on very expensive assets, and you can put it anywhere. It hooks in. Once the battery's gone, you dispose of it. It's great. Well, our customers, of course, said this is not big enough, or it is not small enough, I should say. And so we released what we call the XS, very small. And think about it, you have hand tools, all those different things that you might want to put out there. We track it. But then, of course, this was maybe 2 quarters ago, our customer said, we really need something that is much smaller. It has to be disposable, so you have to be able to throw it away for packages, and it has to be cheap. And so it took us a little bit, but this is actually a tracking label. You would print it out in a printer, you stick it on your package, and it's got Bluetooth technology in it. And so it lasts for 60 days. And imagine now, you're tracking a pallet, you're tracking pharmaceuticals, you're tracking really anything. And it's unlike anything, and because we have a network all around the world, you can track things in seconds. So it's like a industrial Apple tag, if you think about it. And so this is transformational, and you can only do this if you have a network. If you think about it, RFID is very expensive, even cellular is expensive, so how do you get something under $1 that you can put on your cargo? And then if I think about it, when packages come in to the US, maybe DHL comes in, it goes to Memphis, then the next time you see it, it might be Chicago, and then San Francisco. I live in San Francisco. And then the last mile, I might see it on the truck. Well, if I put a label on it, I can see it everywhere along the journey. And I think one of the things we deal with is cargo theft, vehicle theft, anything, packages, all the time. And this is a great way to really look at that. And it's only possible because of AI and the amount of data that we collect and are able to quickly get through, and agents can detect if it goes off path. It can let customers know when it's coming. All these things that would take a lot of phone calls can now be done by agents. And so I think it's really cool to see what our customers will do with it next.
Yeah, very impressive innovation.
Yes.
To finish, I have a common question for you both. Looking ahead in 3, 4, 5 years from now, what will be a best-in-class fleet operation look like? You want to start?
I would say ladies first.
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy to start with that. I mean, I think it's that idea that yes, it's interesting if you marginally improve efficiencies using agents, but if you transform your entire workflow, like that world where the car has an issue, it automatically routes the workflow, orders the part, reschedules. I think that's the new world. If you think about construction sites where you're going to have humans and robots and vehicles and heavy equipment, all of that all coming together, how do you do it the most efficient way? Well, agents and AI are going to coordinate that. So as I'm building something, it's going to know when the part's coming in. It's going to know when someone needs to come out and authenticate it. It's going to have the robot show up with the heavy equipment. That world will operate in just in time. I spent some time in Japan learning a lot about manufacturing. And you think about manufacturing floor, it's everything arriving at the right time. Well, the future, really, physical AI is everything we need arriving exactly at the right time, so we're not wasting fuel, we're not waiting, there's no idle time. Human time is valuable, we don't want to waste people's time waiting, and we'll be able to build things much faster, and we'll be able to coordinate this mixed autonomy world much better.
Thank you. Well, we're running out of time. I'm sure you agree with Meagen.
Would you agree?
So thank you very much, and thank you very much to everyone for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.